Dark side of the Force was a pathway to many abilities some considered to be unnatural.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Hate It, Love It. This is gonna be my spoiler review on Star Wars: Rise of Skywalker. So this is a spoiler review. If you haven't seen Rise of Skywalker, go watch the movie first, then come back to the video. Or you can go ahead and watch my non-spoiler. I didn't spoil nothing in my non-spoiler review. Check that out. It's a good review, and let's get on to it. So, going into the spoiler review, I'm going to say this. I'm going into details on a lot of things. I got to say this. Rian Johnson messed. I didn't hate Last Jedi, but to me, I felt like Rian Johnson totally disrespected what JJ was going for. Sorry to say, people may like The Last Jedi. I wasn't a big fan of The Last Jedi. I think he really disrespected what JJ was going for. So, going into this film, I was like, wow. Like, the beginning was, like I said, the beginning was fast. They were doing like, Finn and Poe were doing this adventure, trying to get, who is the spy in the First Order. And like, it was too fast paced for me. That's why I didn't like going into it. It was like way too fast paced. I did like the new like hyper drive, like when light speed jumping. I did like that. That was freaking cool. Like, when I was looking at it, it was cool. I know somebody in a reviewer I was listening to, they thought it was like annoying, and they were saying how, oh, you can't do that because in the original trilogy they say you can't do that. And I'm like, this now right there, you're taking a little thing like that and making it a big deal. It's not a big deal. Star Wars is not real, so you can like manipulate what you expect when it comes to, especially when it comes to Star Wars. And plus, it's in the future now, so they could probably do that. Hey, Poe did it, and I feel like Poe still has Force ability. I feel like he's Force sensitive. So going into that, I was like, okay. And also with the whole Kylo thing, Kylo was a lot better in this movie. I really like Kylo Ren in this movie than the other one. You know what I'm saying? He really showed who he was in this one, which I did like. And him going to grab a holocron, once again, they didn't call it a holocron. I thought it was a holocron, But the thing is, I had another friend of mine is like, oh, that's a holocron. Why they're changing it? It's supposed to be a holocron. This is a whatever she was saying, movie. And I was like this, for one thing, holocrons. Only true Star Wars fans that know the lore, that watch Rebels, that reads canon, reads Legacy, we know what a holocron is. People that are casual Star Wars fans, they don't know what a holocron is. So to simplify what that was, hey, that didn't bother me that much, because it's like, there's a lot of people that go into these movies. Let me tell you something. I know a lot of people that have never watched Star Wars, and they have never watched the originals, but they're going to go watch this one. And it's like, they're not going to know what a freaking holocron is. And you think they're going to look up what a holocron is? No. They're only going to watch the original trilogy, which the original Star Wars movies never talk about holocrons. The only way they mention it is in comic books, the Legacy canon, and they mention it in the Clone Wars and Rebels. That's it. They're not. A lot of those people ain't gonna go watch that or read that, so they're not gonna know what a holocron is. So I don't get upset about that part. So, but meeting Palpatine, when Kylo Ren meets Palpatine, I was like, whoa, this Sith planet is scary as shit, man. This Sith planet is crazy. Now, Palpatine looks like somebody from the freaking Insidious movies, man. Like, he looked like a freaking old, crepit, he looked like a monster, man. He looked scary, man. Like, Palpatine looked cool. Now, to find out that Snoke was created by Palpatine, I actually could accept that because Palpatine is the most powerful Sith. So I could accept that. You know what I'm saying? I can accept that. And besides, it's gonna be hard for what Ryan Johnson did to Snoke. It's gonna be hard for JJ to like fix that. So to do it like that, hey, I like it better because at least, you know, Palpatine was controlling this whole thing. And I like the fact that he was the one talking in Kylo's head, where Kylo thinks that Darth Vader is talking to him when it was all the Emperor, which I really like that. And I just like the whole Leia and Rey. Like Leia took the mantles of Master and trained Rey, which I really like that because it was like Luke Skywalker was like the Obi-Wan of this series, and then you got Leia, there's like the Yoda of the series. But Luke always said that Leia was the strongest one, and it's true because if you look back at Return of the Jedi, he does mention that. He does mention that. So for Leia to teach Rey, I actually like that. It was like a mother and daughter type of thing, and it really was good. And I like the fact that Rey, her training montage. Oh, I like that. I like that whole training montage. Somebody was complaining about like, oh, why she's so powerful and everything like that. Like she's too powerful, and that's ain't no way she could be that powerful. And I was saying this, okay. Number one, she's been training for I don't know how many years this movie takes place before after Last Jedi. She's been training. She's been reading those texts, reading those notes. So she's been focusing on how to be the most powerful as Jedi. On top of that, like she's Palpatine's granddaughter. When I found that out, I was like, I expected it, but I was like, but it's still cool. Like, oh yes, she's something. She's not a nobody. Which I didn't like the fact that they put that out like she's a nobody. She's not a nobody. She's a Palpatine. So adding that, which Palpatine is the most powerful Sith, of course she's gonna be powerful. It's not like she's not gonna be powerful. She has lineage, and then she has two great Jedi's that are freaking teaching her these things, and she's reading the text. You know what I'm saying? Luke didn't have that ability at the time. You know what I'm saying? And I bet you Luke Skywalker must have gotten powerful. Look at it in The Last Jedi. He's gotten powerful over the years. See, that's why I say if JJ would have directed The Last Jedi and this, everything would have turned out differently. And I think Last Jedi would have been 100 times good. But since that didn't happen, once again, JJ had to fix all that. But I like that. I like the fact that like she became powerful because she focused on her training. Now they know that Palpatine's back. She knows that she's a Palpatine. Now they gotta stop the big old bad. And I like the whole fact that they were trying to find out where the Sith planet was. Like their adventures together was great. Especially that one scene when Kylo Ren and Rey were like force battling with the ships, and then accidentally like Rey did force lightning. When I saw that, I was shocked because at the time I didn't know she was Palpatine's granddaughter, so I was shocked. And I like the fact that you see how powerful Kylo is getting into Rey's mind, which that was good too. But the one thing I gotta say that really hit me in this movie was when Rey and Kylo fought on the Death Star wreckage. That was a good battle. And then all of a sudden, like Leia comes out to save. It's like she just sacrificed herself to save Kylo, and because I thought Rey killed Kylo. I was like, oh snap, Rey just killed Kylo, But she sacrificed herself, and that really hit. I was like, oh no, wow. She sacrificed herself to save Rey, but also it kind of saved her son because Rey heals Kylo, and now he doesn't know what to do. Should he become the Ben Solo and kill Kylo Ren, or should he just continue on to the dark side when Rey left? And then when Han Solo came out and talked to him, oh man, that hit me. I was like, oh my god, that's where it's gonna be. This is what's gonna happen. This is where Kylo is gonna go back to the light side. You know what I'm saying? This right here. And that talk between them was so great. It was so glorious. I loved it. And then like the ending, like when it came to the ending, when you had the final order of the Empire versus the Resistance. And like it looked, and you got Poe, you got Finn like fighting on top of one of the Star Destroyers. I was like, yo, this is cool. And I like the new Stormtroopers too. The new Stormtroopers, they were more like vicious in this. And then all of a sudden, like Lando comes out with all the ships from the Resistance and everything because they lost all hope. Yo, that was a great scene. And the funny thing about that scene is there's a lot of the ships that they have from Rebels, from Clone Wars, like from the legacy of Star Wars. They had those ships, which was so good. I spotted them all, and I was like, yo, this is straight up from the old Star Wars movies, and I love it. And then the final battle between Rey and the Emperor. Wow. That was cool. Ben comes afterwards. Like you could tell like he was weak because he's been a Sith Lord this whole time, and now like he's now down to the light side. You could tell like the transitions. He's not used to being a good guy now. So him taking out the Knights of Ren, that was cool. And the Knights of Ren, I didn't really care for that much. So I didn't really. Everybody's like, oh, they didn't do nothing with the Knights of Ren. I'm like, yeah, but the Knights of Ren, if they would have announced them in Last Jedi, I would really care. But they never announced them in Last Jedi, so I wasn't really like, oh, the Knights of Ren. I didn't really care for them too much. But it was crazy how like when them two were trying to face freaking the Emperor, and the Emperor found out that they have the Force ability to heal him, and he drained their soul. Like that was freaking crazy. And now he's like back to being Palpatine. Like that crazy scene where he did the Force lightning to the half of the freaking Rebel fleet. I was just like, holy shit. And the funny thing is like this, you've seen a lot of stuff like that in canon, in the Star Wars Legacy books. You see force abilities, strong force abilities in a lot of stuff in the old comic books and all that stuff. You see that stuff. So bringing that all together really brings a good nostalgia to it. And then like you come up with this whole like you think freaking Palpatine, like the Emperor's gonna win. It's gonna be the rise of the Sith. Rey doesn't have enough powers. And then that one moment where she hears the voices of all the fallen Jedi, that they like kind of gave her their power to face him. I was like, yo, this is freaking crazy. You hear Anakin, you hear Mace Windu, Yoda, Obi-Wan, Ahsoka, like Kanan. Like you hear all the people you've like seen over the years talking to Rey, giving them their power to help destroy the Sith. That was freaking amazing. That was freaking amazing. The ending when she just took those two double lightsabers, to the Force lightning of Sidious and just kills him and destroys all the Sith. That was cool. Now I want to know, like, man, the Sith must have been hiding because there was a lot of Sith in that throne room. Like, there was a lot of that shit, which was crazy. But one thing I gotta mention, I did like the fact that when Rey went to get the holocron and she fought her dark side self, I like that. That was actually really cool. You know, that was good too. But I think like when it hit the very end where she dies and Ben saves her, that was cool. But then I did not expect like that awkward kiss because technically they're related. If you don't know that, I'm not gonna go into detail on that. But they're kind of technically related, you know. But and then he died, then Ben dies. I kind of didn't like the way that happened. I think it should have been more to that. And then he goes with the Force, which was cool. But even though I didn't like it, I understood it. The reason why I understood it is because if you look at the history, Vader sacrificed himself to save Luke. Luke sacrificed himself to save the rebels. You got freaking Leia sacrificing herself. So it's like the Skywalkers, they sacrifice themselves to save the universe. So it made sense to me. I was like, I get it. You know, that was great. Like, I just liked the way that ended. And then at the very end, when she buries her master's lightsabers, Luke and Leia's lightsaber, and then she's on Tatooine on this, where Luke grew up, which was so iconic. I just like that. And then the lady asked her, like, who are you? And she's like, Rey. And then she looks and she's like, but who are your people? And then she looks at Force Ghost Luke and Force Ghost Leia, and then she's like, I'm a Skywalker. And I was like, oh, that was just like that I love that. Because they were like her parents. They were like her family, you know. And then she gets the gold lightsaber, which that is cool because if you watch Legacies or if you do canon and stuff like that, that gold lightsaber represents something. And if you don't know what it is, look it up because there's a story on that, and it's really sweet. So I gotta say, overall, man, I really enjoyed this movie. I know this video's long. It's spoilers. What do you expect? And I thought it was a real good time. You know, it was just great. I mean, I enjoyed this film. JJ, I give you applause. You did great. You know, what you can do. You know, like I said, it wasn't your fault that Rian Johnson wanted to screw you. But hey, you took a movie. I enjoyed it, and I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I grew up with the original trilogy. So I gotta say, I loved it. It was the best way to end the saga. Thank you for fixing the problems, JJ. And hey, like, subscribe. Tell me some theories, some motions. What did you like? What was your favorite scene in the movie? Let me know in the comment section. Subscribe. I make all these videos because I love movies. Please like. And I'll see you when I see you. Peace.